One down, one to go. Episode 7 is officially in the books, and well, here are some of the highlights. The Jedi, as the Nerdrotic points out, yeah, they're bad. They're the bad guys. You had your big flashback at the end that showed why Mae is so against the Jedi because, well, one of her moms, and I think by the help of her second mom, tried to turn into a big smoke monster to possess Jedi Master Squid Game, and then at the end of it, he takes out his lightsaber and stabs the ghost that tries to say, you know, I did all of that stuff just to tell you that I was going to go ahead and let Osha go with you. Kind of a weird way to make that announcement, but I guess that's the way that the lesbian space witches want to make their announcement. But you know, what about the rest of the coven? Was alluded to that there was this big massacre in episode 3. Well, after they took possession of Jedi Master Wookiee, you had some of the most dodgy CGI that I've seen in a very long time, with Trinity coming in stage right. And well, I'll just play a little bit of this, okay? No sound or anything like that. Oh God, the wire working. Oh, that's clearly a stunt double. And then, oh yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and try to suck all the bad vibes out of your head. And I'll just go ahead and move forward a little bit. And then you can see the power of 1, the power of 2, the power of mind control, eventually getting zapped by the Jedi. And then all the witches die. This thing it's something. But when we get more context on this, when I listen to and see a few more breakdowns, I'll be able to share and impart some wisdom or potentially try to break down this nonsense, because this is airing just after, okay? Like, this is not long after I'm recording this that the episode is just aired, and there's going to be a lot of people breaking this down once they can go ahead and gather their senses together that are far deeper immersed in the Star Wars stuff. I'm just seeing these clips and I'm going, wow. Outside of just simple reviewers and people that need a good belly laugh on Tuesday evening, who's watching this tripe, okay? Because let's be honest, okay, pun not intended, the most enjoyable part of the Acolyte, the most engaging aspect of Disney Star Wars at this point in time aren't the shows, aren't the products that they put out there on the screen in earnest that they want you to engage with. It's just simply the conversation outside of Star Wars right now. So that brings us around to Amandla Stenberg, who again isn't really central to any of the conversations regarding the show that she's the dual protagonist in. It's very strange how we ended up at this situation, but regardless, she's out there on the promotional tour, getting all the big bookings, like being on The View, of all things. But the Acolyte actress Amandla Stenberg, the only time, because listen, she's got to get out there right now, because after this time next week, ain't nobody going to be talking about her anymore. Maybe they'll be talking about the fallout and how Osha and Mae never really had a character, but they were around for 8 episodes, and how much brain damage does Osha truly have, given the fact that she was seemingly knocked out in about 3/5 of the entirety of the series. Okay, maybe that explains some of her wonky, character motivation, but the only time that they're going to refer to Amandla Stenberg is that chick that took a gigantic L so much in regards to Star Wars that she had to affix it to her name, because outside of the damage that the Acolyte and Leslye Headland wrote into the canon of Star Wars, nobody's going to remember her, okay? Nobody's even talking about her outside of going, wow, she can't really emote, not a great actress, okay? That's the depth of the criticism, because there's nothing else to really work with. Oh, she yells as Mae, and yeah, she's concussed as Osha. There's not really any differentiation between the characters. She's as bland as a butter sandwich. And I guess that's one of the nicest things you can say about the performances on this show. She's out there, saying that, okay, she condemns individuals sending her alleged death threats, provide proof. Literally, doubt it. Like, maybe that's in regards to the diss track, because the only time that you've gotten any attention in regards to this show was when, you dropped that cringy Discourses song, okay? That's about it. But says she welcomes criticism of the show. I doubt it. The Acolyte actress Amandla Stenberg, who plays twins Osha and Mae in the series, recently responded and condemned alleged intolerable racism and death threats she received, while also claiming she welcomes criticism of the show. Yeah, it's really bad, and performance is substandard. Is that racism? Oh, no, it's misogyny. I understand. During an appearance on The View, which is broadcast on ABC, yes, a Disney subsidiary like Lucasfilm and Star Wars, One of the show's hens cackled. Unfortunately, the success of the show, the success of the show, brother, okay, put a pin in that, has made you a target by some of the right wing for the inclusive casting, which is something Whoopi talks about all the time. Oh my God. You have received horrific racist backlash. Oh, that's just the default presumption. I understand. Including threats and what you call intolerable racism. That's your quote. Can you talk about that a little bit? And what has that been like? Stenberg responded by saying, yeah, absolutely. And I really appreciate you giving me this space to speak about it. It's been very painful for me. Yes, somebody who has had an unearned podium foisted upon them from the moment that they broke into Hollywood. Somebody who has been in the public eye for nigh on a decade for the simple fact that they were cast by Disney. They came out as whatever the cause du jour was, toting their immutable characteristics for just simple relevance points. But yeah, thank you that I can finally speak out and clap back against all the haters that are pointed at you. And anyways, it's been very painful for me. Right, so painful that you had to scribble down a diss track in 72 hours, choreograph it, and put it out to the world that was rather ambivalent to your existence. And it's not something that I think you can emotionally prepare for. She then declared that she and the show are open to criticism, and we welcome criticism of the show when it comes to storytelling or performance. No, clearly you're not, because that's what all of this right-wing hate is coming from, because, I don't know, I'm sure that there probably are some freaks that are out there that went, she's black and that means it's going to be bad. Absolutely not. It's not something that I say. That's not something that anybody that I hold in any regard would say. If that's the way that they want to paint it, so be it. You're not going to change their mind anyways. They've already made it all up. So yes, we welcome criticism of the show when it comes to storytelling and performance, but when it comes to death threats, horrific, violent, racist language, it's unacceptable to me. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, definitely is unacceptable. And if you'd like to provide some examples, we can go ahead and condemn it together, right, Amandla? Right? You can go ahead and provide those, right? 100%. I'm sure your DMs are full, right? Right? And I had to think really deep and hard about when you display discipline and when you display honor. And I guess what I mean by that is, when do you decide to utilize discipline to not engage in your reactive way to hatred? And when do you decide to engage in honor by honoring your values and your belief system? I would just like to know, where did the diss track fall in this? Okay, was that honorable, or was that the turn the other cheek scenario that you talk about? Was that the discipline? Were you channeling Osha, or were you channeling Mae in that specific decision? Can you clarify some of that? In this case, I decided that it was the most important thing to me to be vocal, because think that silence can send a message as well, and indication can be and inaction can be very dangerous. Nobody's talking about you. Okay, like, stop making this all about yourself. From there, she referenced the music video and the song. Yeah, how did she reconcile this? Just like the Acolyte itself, it's not going to make any sense. And so, well, I dropped a diss track. About it, and it's called Discourses. And it's really about, of course, what I've been experiencing. Yeah, the media being mad. So how does the right wing, and like I said, it doesn't have to make sense. It's all about the divisiveness of the culture and how difficult it is for us to navigate information in this new era. You're not that deep, bitch, okay? Just fucking keep it in your back pocket. It's so difficult to tell what is true, online. I find this hilarious, right? It's like, normally whenever these leftists are just pinned against the wall, and you know that your arguments are sound on this, they just simply want to dismiss this as the culture war run amok. Oh, it's just both sides being unreasonable. No, it's you fighting this fictitious boogeyman that's out there, okay? You just want to hand wave it all away, okay? You just want to perform an actual Jedi mind trick instead of, Jedi mind possession, and say, oh, no, there's just so much disinformation, there's so much discourse on both sides, and there's the divisiveness to this culture. No, because you and your people are accustomed. What do you mean, you people? You leftist shills in the media, okay? You guys are normally accustomed to getting everything that you want, but now that the power is turned in regards to reviews and in regards to criticism of these schlock programs, now that the bigger megaphone has been passed off to the independent space, now you guys all of a sudden want to play victim once again, okay? Like, it was entirely constructed. We're talking about that diss track for it to be this big victimhood pledge. When everybody looked at that, it's like, wow, that shit is super cringe and I don't know why you're complaining about this and you're directing all of your hatred towards the media. It's a little bit interesting because they're not really the ones. They're the ones running defense for you. They're not the ones criticizing you, but okay, cool. Because numbers are also hard because you take a look at all the review bombing that's out there and it's coming from those evil people that are attacking you, but no, you just simply wanted to lash out at the institution. Like I said, this was never going to make sense. She continued. And these online algorithms, oh my god, let's just say buzzwords. I love buzzwords. They shape our realities and our thinking in clickbait journalism. And these algorithms also profit from our rage and our hatred. Unlike you, who probably made a pretty penny for this atrocious $180 million show, right? And I feel like, Merch, that's something we are aware of, but we don't necessarily have enough discourse or infrastructure around because it's so new. What a bunch of commie gobbledygook, okay? All these algorithms that are promoting all of this hatred, okay? It's so interesting, right? Because the algorithms are clearly not promoting the Acolyte because new viewership data, and yeah, we just talked about viewership data yesterday. I can't even stay on top of how quickly all of this news is coming in. Like I said, there's nothing exciting about the Acolyte. It's just bog standard bad writing, bad performances, bad concepts, all wrapped into one unique epoch in time, and I'm so glad that we're all here for it. But it's the commentary around the show. It's all about how Lucasfilm and Disney are comporting themselves in this because they're not doing a great job, okay? They're not finding a way to harness those algorithms, all of that rage that's out there, and turn it into something actually productive for them. Because yeah, new viewership data for the Acolyte confirms fans are abandoning the franchise. Data analytics firm Nielsen, because we talked about the Luminate numbers, which, to be completely honest, I have no idea where they come from. It's just what Variety goes with, and they're a somewhat reputable voice in that space. But we have Nielsen, okay, the guys who have been responsible for TV ratings for as long as they've been keeping TV ratings. So they're at least, you know, a little bit more reputable on the numbers, and well, because of that reputation, they can be authoritative in their statements, and well, Disney's not going to like this one. Okay, data for the week, the Acolyte had its 2-episode premiere, and it confirms Star Wars fans are abandoning the franchise. Not only are they abandoning the franchise, but the series is one of the least watched live-action Star Wars premieres on Disney Plus based on minutes watched. Oopsie daisy. So really backing up Illuminate numbers, Nielsen reported the show only garnered 444 million minutes watched for its 2-episode premiere at the beginning of June. Oh, that's not good, man. Okay, behind what? Dancing for the Devil, a TikTok documentary, Geek Girl, Evil Bridgerton. You know, we've seen that before. Sweet Tooth and Eric. The hell are those? Okay, whatever. For comparison, Ahsoka, which arrived on Disney Plus in August of 2023, wow, had a 2-episode premiere that had 829 million minutes watched. Oof, the total minutes watched between Ahsoka and the Acolyte's premiere is nearly a 50% decline. There's one big caveat. Ahsoka's 2 episodes had a total runtime of 101 minutes compared to the Acolyte's 82 minutes. Yeah, but that still doesn't make up. That is still a gigantic loss. Even if you use Disney's simple total minutes viewed divided by the total runtime, Ahsoka's viewership, yes, comes out to 8.2 million views compared to Acolyte's 5.4 million views. Yes, that's a 34% decline. That just goes to show you something that all of those evil bigots have been talking about for a while. These successive terrible shows that just arrive with such aplomb and such enthusiasm, from The Mandalorian Season 3, oh, we loved Season 2 so much, and then by the end of Mandalorian Season 3, well, you know what, now that I think about it, Season 2 wasn't that great after all. You had Obi-Wan, and then you had Ahsoka. It's these long-term knock-on effects from all of these terrible shows coming out in perpetuity. They're having lasting brand damage. It's not rocket science. This is just simply the likely conclusion and the end result of Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm's stated goals. What was one of the first things that they did when they came out and made the big announcement after they decanonized the extended universe, you know, just shipped it off to Legends so that they can go ahead and cherry pick different aspects that they want and then just foist it onto the lore ad nauseum? What did Kathleen Kennedy come out on stage and pronounce? That the Force is in fact female. And now that you have all of your shows that are out there with a female lead in some form or fashion, Mandalorian with Bo-Katan, Obi-Wan show was basically a vehicle for Reva, Ahsoka with, I don't know, how many women do you want to name in that one? And then, of course, with your crowning achievement in the Acolyte, with more women than you can possibly have room for in your space U-Haul. The Force is indeed female. And with that, as somebody who knows a thing or two about female nature, yeah, Force is now also incredibly fickle. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo, and I should follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.